Hey, welcome to Daily Coronavirus-Driven Mind Stuff. My name is George Ortega, and it is Tuesday, June 2nd, I believe. Let me check that out. June 2nd, yeah, 2020 at 5:15 p.m. This is episode number 38, I believe. And I just, I just attended for the last 2 hours this Zoom meeting by a woman in Portland who has this, I think it's called the Wild Soul Circle. And it's a meetup group where they originally, before this distancing, would meet in person, but she's brought it online. And so there were about 10 of us on this call, this Zoom call. And this woman, she describes herself as a spiritual coach. And what she does is she gets us to, for example, there were 10 of us, right? And the last part of it is like the other 9 of us were supposed to address that one person and answer the question, when I look at you, I feel or I sense. And that was such a powerful experience. It allowed us to receive these messages about ourselves that sometimes we don't hear enough. Some really deep felt perceptions. And it also allows us to look into others, more deeply, to kind of like to discover who they are more completely. So that's just one of the exercises. I mean, like, it was 2 hours of just like exercises like that. The group of 10, but we would, for example, break out into a group of 3, for other exercises. And like, I attend this every week, and I'm doing this episode right after I just left this group, because what she does transforms me. It takes me in whatever mood I was in before, before I was playing some bass guitar, jamming, doing some things. But what this woman does is she connects me with the essence of my life, which to a great extent is about other people, and I think that's I think how it is for all of us. And so yeah, it's like once a week, it's just like, it totally transforms. It gets me into a very, very positive, optimistic, loving frame of mind. So I feel really grateful. And it's a young woman, and she's very dedicated to this. She's a very spiritual person. I mean, she's one of these souls that I think are designed or are brought here to guide us, to focus us on what is most important in our lives, to shift us from so many distractions to what our lives are really about. And so I think, she understands the value of her message. Her messages, what she's trying to get us to feel and to experience and to understand better. And so I'm looking forward to following what she does, because the challenge, I guess, is to scale that up, what she does. And I left a comment on her meetup, suggesting that it would be great if she could teach others to do what she does, because it's a rare gift that she has, but it's not something that others can't learn, and I think she'd be an excellent teacher for it, because she's extremely humble, very modest, which makes her message that much more powerful. It's you recognize that she's a wonderful person, but she is very good about projecting the ideas that it's about, that it's about connection and getting in touch with our more authentic selves and all. So anyway, I just wanted to start out this this episode just describing that to you. And again, I'm recording this, right after having spent, again, 2 hours with her and 9 other people in the group. And it gets me wanting to be very genuine, to really feel what I'm feeling and express that, that experience. All right. So let's see, what else? Well, I mean, I'm having a good day. I am having a very good day. I got up and I had gotten a good night's sleep, which was great. And first thing I did, I turned on, I started jamming to some music on my bass guitar, and that was going well. And then I got a package from Amazon. I ordered it like 2 days ago. They're really fast, like some foods, these nuts and mainly nuts, and seeds and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. So anyway, so like I got that, but like while I was attending this amazing event, I got a package. I don't know if I mentioned, but like I play short scale bass guitar, and the one that I was using was like, it's an Ibanez micro 5-string bass. But then, I realized that I only use 4 strings and I don't want to use the 5th string. So I unstrung it. And the other thing is, like, I'm kind of like an artist about music in a way. In other words, like I see a lot of guitars, on sale, bass guitars, whatever. And I say, no, I kind of like have a very individual kind of like taste in what I want or get a guitar to be for me. I realize it's very subjective. It's what I, find very beautiful or well designed. So, so last week, I think so I wanted to get another bass guitar because I think it's, if I'm going to play short scale bass, I should have at least one backup, bass, just in case something happens to one, I don't lose my momentum. And the other thing is that I wanted, the one that I have, let me show it to you. It's a nice looking bass. It really is. I mean, like, I love the black and the brown, and it really is nice. But again, it's a 5-string bass. So, and actually, I'll show you the new guitar next time, whatever. But anyway, so like, and the other part is like, so I wanted to like, and the guitar that I got, and anyway, just came, while I was in that last meeting. So I haven't opened up the box yet. I mean, this is like, I felt so compelled to do this episode after having, attended that that event, that Zoom event. So, but yeah, so the other thing is like, I want the goal, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this. The goal is to, like, in a year, perhaps, a year to 2 years at most, maximum. Yeah, I want to start working as a session musician because I have a unique way of playing the bass. That is essentially, I mean, it's not difficult to describe. It's basically, I play a bass to a great extent how I was playing lead guitar when I was playing guitar. And it adds I think it's called a counter melody, technically in music. So there's the main melody that the song, projects, whether with a singer or an instrument. And what I do is I do a secondary, a melody to that melody, kind of like a duet in a way. Or like, when when people harmonize. So anyway, so like, so yeah, I'm feeling good about that. But here's the thing. So like, I'm looking for a guitar, and I was willing to pay. You know, that guitar is only $200. I'm not at the level yet where I can justify spending a lot of money on a guitar. So this one I found for like $200. And so like, well, eventually, like, let's say, because, in the business, you just sometimes have to have the right gear to be taken seriously. Perhaps not, perhaps if somebody's really good, whatever. But anyway, so like, eventually I'm going to have to modify it a bit. New pickups, a better quality pickups, and maybe better quality tuners. Those are the two components of a guitar, bass guitar, that are the most important. I'm not sure what kind of strings it came with, but anyway, so like in a year or so, if I still feel that if I feel that I'm good enough, then to start looking for gigs. And I don't know if it's going to be opened up. I hope it is, and fortunately, I'm here in White Plains, it's a 40-minute train ride into Manhattan, so it's pretty easy to get to. But yeah, so at that time, in about a year, I'll install the better components, the pickups and the tuners, and hopefully begin. And I'm psyched about this, because like, I haven't been able to like work, and this is kind of like my art. I may want to paint, because I was an artist, art major when I started college. But it could be that my true art is music, so yeah, that's I'm really psyched about it. All right, so what else? Yeah, it's been a great day. I've been straightening up, keeping on top of things, keeping on top of it. I should probably do a load of laundry, but I can wait until tomorrow. Yeah, because it's 5:30, and basically in a little while I want to take a walk through town. Maybe a longer walk than general. I've got to open up my room at 9, kind of like this international Zoom party that I have 3 days a week. And I'm feeling relieved, because I knew the package was coming today. At least I got an email. And sometimes, I get a little, apprehensive during those times, whatever. But like, it's great, because it could have come anytime between now and 9 p.m., whatever. But that's good. So yeah, so as soon as I, end this episode, I'm going to start playing. All right, and it's interesting, because like, I'm just now beginning to return to a sense of calm and well-being after a few really difficult days, I think, with what's going on with the protests and the fact that this kind of police brutality is still going on, and it's yeah, it feels like, that people are becoming less and less tolerant of that kind of behavior by people, that kind of violence. And so, sometimes like with war, sometimes to defend oneself, you have to go to war. And it's, in a certain sense, that's what these kids are doing, that you can't trust somebody like Trump. You can't trust, the Republicans or the Democrats, really, for that matter, because there's a lot of Democrats who really, they talk the talk, but don't necessarily walk the walk. It's unfortunate. And hopefully now they're beginning to understand the repercussions of being a Democrat, just a name, so much. So yeah, I'm returning to a sense of calm, and I'm playing bass guitar a lot. So Yeah, I've been playing raga rock, or it could be raga. I don't know. It's like, it's an Indian, it's sitar music anyway. So like I'm playing a lot of that. And it really is like, it's, you know, it's from the 60s, and it's kind of like psychedelic in a way, very, very unique. I mean, I love popular music, the mainstream, you know, really good melodies and songs and all. But I also like unique and distinct melodies, distinct kinds of music that you don't hear very often. And so this is the kind of music that is about that. And it has a very spiritual quality. That sitar, um, I don't know what it is about it, but it's you know, it's almost kind of like a harp in a way. So so I have been playing, you know, that kind of music a lot, and and yeah, but there, I want to explore more. You know, I mean, you know, just from day to day, you know, week to week, I'm exploring different genres. Like a couple of weeks ago, last week was like heavy metal, like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and then a few days ago it was like Pink Floyd, and I'm getting into like some of the folk music, Don McLean, um, and yeah, good music, a lot of different groups. But oh, I lost my train of thought. All right, so yeah, let me return. I feel a little guilty when I don't talk enough about the time we're in. Um, I have to keep reminding myself that you know, hopefully that a lot of good will come from these demonstrations that are happening throughout the country now. Hopefully it'll wake people up, you know, to the, you know, to the idea that, hey, enough, you know, enough with the violence, you know. Two can be violent. That's what they're saying, you know, and hopefully people will get the message. But you know, in a certain sense, you know, I'm expecting good to come from that. But you know, again, the main challenge we're facing now is COVID-19, and the main challenge within that, which you don't hear nearly enough talk about from the media, from politicians, is these over 40 million people who are out of work, or at least have filed unemployment claims. Um, and they expect that perhaps 40% of that number is won't easily return to their jobs once the lifting is done. I mean, and so the idea is like, you know, well, the two things. One, you know, like people need money to get by during this time. And McConnell, you know, the Republican leader of the Senate, is saying, well, this is the last stimulus package that he's going to approve. And well, you know, if he is sincere about that, then you know that will probably just destroy the Republican Party a lot more than it'll probably be destroyed, just because of you know the just because of Trump. You know, he's so you know, from a spiritual perspective, I believe that he brought this on us. That, you know, or we voting for him, we allowing, you know, people to win who you know, obviously those of us who were against him didn't fight hard enough. You know, we could say we were taken by surprise. I suppose I certainly was. But yeah, I think on a spiritual level, yes, you know, we vote for Trump, and this COVID-19 virus is what we deserve for having done that. So so yeah, the politicians aren't talking about jobs. It's not just when the economy opens, it's for now, during these times. Well, no, the other question is like, what, you know, how are people supposed to like pay their rents, and you know, if they cut back on the unemployment benefits, things like that. But even that is a transition kind of a challenge. The major challenge is that once the economy is fully open, what kinds of jobs are we going to create for these, you know? it's going to be like between 10 and 15% unemployment, starting in January, or even before that. And that's a major number. That's a lot of unemployed people. So like I keep explaining to people, people understand, like, my reasoning tells me very strongly that they're going to get jobs. My reasoning very strongly tells me that the corporations are not going to create jobs for them, because that's not what they're designed to do. They're designed to basically to act according to the bottom line, which is to make money for their investors. So if they don't believe so there's two things that happen. One, either the government mandates them, gives them a financial incentive to create these jobs, and not a discriminatory one or a discretionary one where they can just like take this money and use it however they want. No, this, because that's what the 2008 bailout was about to a great extent. The corporations promised, that they would do certain things with the money, and then that never happened. So either Congress passes more stimulus bills designed to help the corporations create new jobs, or if they refuse to do that, we, the government, have to create the jobs. And that's, what's so clear to me is that is what's going to happen. And because the Republicans, just like they're in denial of climate change, they're so unwilling to change regarding so many things, they're not going to accept that. They're not going to go along with it. They went out along with this, like $3 trillion worth of stimulus so far, because it was so, we were in crisis panic mode. But they've calmed down now, and they've gone back to their really archaic ways, and we can't afford that anymore. So basically, what will happen is, like, they'll lose a lot of seats this November in Congress. They'll lose more in two more years in 22, and they'll lose even more in 24. And so because these jobs will have to be created, and they will refuse to do that. So, like, and I think this time, the same thing happened after the Depression with the New Deal. Republicans lost so much power. And unfortunately, we allowed them to regain it, because, like, I say this, for example, nobody wants slavery to return. Nobody wants child labor to return. Nobody wants the past, in certain ways to return. But the Republican Party doesn't understand that. So in other words, like, we don't want, once they're out of power, we don't want them to return in this same mode that they, revived themselves from after the New Deal. So we have to legislate, for example, like, the way Trump talks to people, for a president, that should be completely illegal. Anyone who approaches the manner of disrespect that he's shown Americans, foreign leaders, foreign countries, that should be, grounds for instant, not just impeachment, but conviction and removal. And naturally, we shouldn't allow the politicians to what do you call it? To invite the lowest common denominator in people, to appeal to the basest natures of people by enticing them to vote for him because he's so vile. That's a vile strategy. So we need laws to defend against that. Anyway, so about less than 4 minutes left. So again, there are a lot of things happening, and God willing, a lot of good will happen from these demonstrations, if not at the federal level, at state levels, initially, and then certainly later at the federal level. But I keep, I'm an optimist. I believe that the world, God is kind of like correcting us, just like the stock market is corrected with recessions, and we've gone awry in how we conduct our lives. So this is a great sociological correction, and I believe that that we will create a much better world as a result of this, and a great deal of that will begin with the jobs that have to be created. We need more solar panels. We need more wind turbines, windmills. We need more renewable energies. We need to fix our infrastructure, bridges, tunnels, roads. We need to do a lot, We need to prevent future pandemics. That's a different matter. And they should certainly invest in the clean, cultured meat that will allow us to be pandemic-free going on into the future. But the jobs that will, and those are just kind of physical jobs, about our physical existence. But I think we need jobs that address our spiritual natures. In other words, like a lot of people aren't nearly as happy as they could and should be. And because of that, they try to seek happiness in, let's say, by overeating or overworking or drinking, whatever, and so basically, I think maybe it's time for us just to address the spiritual needs of this country and of the world, really. So a lot of these jobs will hopefully be about, helping us all find our best selves, be both happier and more virtuous. I think that, again, to a great extent, what's happening to us now has happened because we have been so immoral. And then, just take a look at how we treat animals on farms. That tells you everything. Nothing else needs to be said. So anyway, all right, so I've got a minute left. And, watch us Monday through Friday. Watch me Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock. White Plains Community Media, channel 76 if you get Optimum, and 45 if you get Verizon. And so I hope you guys are staying centered, staying focused on what's most important. Defending virtue, thinking about the future, trying to make it good, and taking care of your staying safe, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, distancing and all. All right, so I guess that's it for this episode, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.